Well, welcome into Instant Reaction, in Indianapolis Colts podcast. I'm Casey Vallier, joined by Colts Ring of Honor wide receiver Bill Brooks, and we are reacting to yet another Colts victory. They go on the road this time, and they defeat the Tennessee Titans 41-20 inside Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Bill, 3-0 for the first time since 2009. Still yet to commit a turnover. They have just one punt. Man, this Colts team, they're doing just about everything we could possibly have imagined through three games.
They're doing everything they need to do to win football games. They're creating turnovers, not turning over the ball, being efficient on offense, putting pressure on quarterbacks from a defensive standpoint. What more can you ask for? I mean, they're playing well. That's what you want. You have a quarterback that's taking care of the football, pulling the football into the playmakers' hands, and they're making plays. And the guys that you expect to make big plays are making the big plays, and that's what you want from a team. And it's exciting to watch this team play each and every week. And I'm always excited for the game to start because you never know what's going to happen. But I'm excited to see what the Colts have planned for that game. And usually the game plan is pretty good, pretty interesting. So hopefully that will continue moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, through three games, according to our team writer, JJ Stankovic, so if he says it, that means it has to be true. The Colts have scored 103 points. That's the most by a Colts team since 1967. So think about how good the Indianapolis
Wow.
era Colts have been when you think about Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. This team is doing something that we have not seen in the Indianapolis era when it comes to efficiency on offense. It's been pretty impressive. Like I said, it's been about as perfect as you could have imagined it through three games. But like I said, we're going to talk about this entire performance, highlight a handful of things. But I think starting off this week, last week we started with Daniel Jones, and arguably we could start there again. But I just want to switch it up just for a little variance, if you don't mind. I want to start with Jonathan Taylor this week. Three
Yes.
rushing touchdowns today, including that beautiful 46-yard run where he went to the house up the middle. I think I counted four tackles he broke along the way. He came into the game on Sunday as the NFL's leader in rushing yards and scrimmage yards. He added 102 on the ground today. It was his fourth career game with at least three rushing touchdowns. You know, people thought that they had passed Jonathan Taylor's prime. I think you need to pump the brakes a little bit. I think we're still in the heart of that prime of Jonathan Taylor.
He looks very fresh. He looks like he's ready to go. Looks like he's ready to go for many years to come. How he's playing out there, playing hard, playing aggressive, playing fast, and it looks like he does not get tired. You know, he plays the game very hard and makes those big plays for the team. And what I like about him, you know, he keeps on playing and plugging and plugging and plugging. He might not get that big run early on, but then eventually he makes that big run, like he made that 40-plus yard run today. The big yards, the big plays to kind of break the team's back, to defeat the defense, to make them say, hey, look, you know what? This guy's getting better as the game goes on. He's getting stronger as the game goes on. And that's just a big benefit for the offense because when you have a back like that that can change the game on one play, it makes it very difficult for the defense to kind of game plan around who they're going to stop because the Colts right now are spreading the ball around to a lot of different people. You got the running back and you got the wide receivers that he's getting the ball to, but Jonathan Taylor's just doing a nice job, and not just in the run game as well. He's doing a nice job, I should say, not just in the run game. He's doing a nice job in the blitz pickups as well. He's doing a nice
Yeah.
job catching the ball out of the backfield. So he's doing it all, and that's what you want from a back. You want a back that can go out there and play all three downs. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can run the ball on first or second down, but he also can be a pass protector for the quarterback if he has to go back and pass the ball downfield. So give Jonathan Taylor a lot of credit for what he's doing out there in the football field, being aggressive, running hard, and getting his pads low, and then running behind the offensive line. Give the offensive line a lot of credit because they're making the holes for Jonathan Taylor, and they're also doing a good job pass protecting for Daniel Jones.
No, absolutely. I want to bring up the offensive line in just a second, but I want to touch on one more thing with Jonathan Taylor. We talked about it in our local pregame show, Bill, about the amount of carries that
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor had to this point. Today, he made the most out of just 17 carries. Now, part of it was because of the game. You were able to kind of spread the wealth a little bit and give him a little bit of a break. But how beneficial is that? Just 17 carries, still going over 100 yards, not missing anything offensively, but in some ways you're able to kind of give him a little bit of rest, give those legs some rest as you look forward to what this team is hoping to do, especially, at 3-0, you're looking at this team being a playoff caliber kind of team. You want Jonathan Taylor fresh for the end of the season, so being able to sprinkle in some of these games where it's just 17 carries, that's a really good thing for this offense.
Exactly. It's a very good thing when you're running back, your bell cow can go out there and play and make some big plays and decisive plays in the game, and he does not have to have a lot of carries, a lot of wear and tear on his legs. That's just a plus for at the end of the season when you might need him to, hopefully secure a playoff spot, or when you're in the playoffs, you have a guy that's fresh. He's ready to go, a guy that has taken care of himself all through training camp. He hopefully will take care of himself, which I believe he will, and he always does. He has done it in the past. Take care of himself during the season. So at the end of the season, he is fresh. At the end of those games, he is fresh, so he can make those big plays, and that's what you want. Hopefully, you don't, have to use him a whole lot, and usually that starts with being aggressive early in the game, making the big plays early in the game. But the way they use Jonathan Taylor today, as you say, not a lot of carries. That way, he didn't have to run the ball a whole lot, and you wear him out early in the season. That's a big plus for this offense. You want a fresh team near the end of the season, and having a fresh Jonathan Taylor will only be a bonus for this team.
No, absolutely. And in that running game, we did see Tyler Goodson make his season debut today. He missed the first two games with an elbow injury that he suffered late in the preseason. So it was good to see Tyler Goodson back on the field for the Colts, especially what he adds from a special teams standpoint. He is one of the key pieces on the special teams, but also being able to be a guy that can, sub in and give Jonathan Taylor a rest here or there. I want to dive into Daniel Jones, but I really do want to circle back with what you talked about with the offensive line. They, I don't think, are getting nearly the credit they deserve because of, not only just, that in the run game, they're giving Jonathan Taylor some great holes, but also yet another clean game from a sack perspective in the passing game. They're keeping the pocket clean. Daniel Jones is being able to, effectively work through his progressions and run the offense like it's supposed to because of how well this offensive line has played. You got to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, Casey, and going back to what you said earlier, the offensive line never gets any credit. Only time
Right.
only
It's
time you
true.
talk about the offensive line and there's a penalty or holding or something like they done, or that man downfield or something like that. But they hardly ever get any credit. But give those guys some credit. They are doing a nice job of protecting Daniel Jones. Yes, Daniel Jones did have to do some scrambling today, but you know what? His legs got him out of trouble. He made some positive plays out of some plays that, went a little awry out there in the field today. But, that's part of the NFL. That's part of the game. That's what quarterbacks have to do. They have to make sure they can scramble, move around the pocket to avoid some of those hits and tackles and being sacked. But give the offensive line credit for doing a good job of not only protecting Daniel Jones, but also opening up the holes for Jonathan Taylor, because without those guys up front, you can't run the ball, and running the ball is very important to this offense. And then, of course, you can't protect, can't keep people out of the backfield. And when Daniel Jones is trying to throw and have people in his face, it's not going to be an effective passing game. So give those guys up front credit. They don't get any credit. They only get noticed when they make a mistake. So give them credit right now as they're doing a good job for the Indianapolis Colts.
Now, sticking there with the credit that I'm sure that Daniel Jones is giving them all the credit because that's kind of the guy that we have become accustomed to in Daniel Jones. He doesn't want to take any of the gratification. He is ready to praise everybody else, but yet another solid game. So I'm going to give Daniel Jones his flowers.
Yes.
72% completion again today, 228 passing yards, another touchdown. He just looks so incredibly comfortable inside this offense. I mean, it's been one of those things. Are you surprised at how comfortable he looks through three games? It looks like he's been inside this offense for multiple years.
I'm not surprised about his demeanor because he was that way when he came into the building and first got here, but I'm surprised the way he has command of the offense already. Just being here a few months, having a command of the offense, knowing where to go with the ball, knowing what plays to call when maybe the first play that he had or he got in from the sideline might not have been the best play against a certain defense, being able to change the play, being able to change the protection and do it relatively easy and comfortable out there. So I am surprised about that. But when he's out there, he looks calm, cool, and collected. And as a player, another player out there, you like to see that in your quarterback. Your quarterback's out there. He has to make decisions. He has to make some important decisions out there. You want someone that's calm, cool, and can make a good decision with all the information he's gathering at that moment for a split second, make a good decision so they can put you in the right play to be successful. So I'm happy that he's doing that. It's good for the team. And that's just Daniel Jones. I mean, he's little has a little vanilla ice in him. So he's I say vanilla ice meaning he's calm, he's
Yeah.
cool, he's not letting anything get to him. So it's good to see him out there playing that way, and it's nice that he's going out there playing and doing a good job.
Now, through 3 games, he's got 816 passing yards. That is the most within the first 3 games of a season since Andrew Luck in 2016 when he threw for 913 yards. And one of the knocks on Daniel Jones kind of heading into the 2025 season was not pushing the ball down the field. So I did some research myself here, Bill. Listen to these numbers, okay? He completed 18 passes today. 9 of those passes went for at least 15 yards. The Colts averaged 9.1 yards per gained per pass play. Yet again, over 9 yards per attempt in the third game here for Daniel Jones with the Colts, kind of continuing to kind of bury that notion that he doesn't push the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel can push the ball down the field. He can throw the ball down the field when needed, and he can make the intermediate throws. He can make the short throws. He can make all the throws. He can make the touch throws. We have to just kind of layer it over a linebacker, layer it over to the second level or whatever level he needs to layer it to. So he can make all the throws. So people talk about that, but I just think you have a quarterback that is so calm, cool in the pocket. He doesn't let things bother him. He can make all the throws. He knows he can make all the throws, and he's very athletic. So, you see him out there playing. He does his job. He does a nice job, and he can make the throws. So, I don't know where that came from. Maybe because of the stats in the past, but he can make all the throws. And you want a quarterback that can make all the throws because now the defense can't really defend you one way, saying, "Okay, we're going to keep everything in front of us because we know he can't go deep." But he can go deep. So they have to play him honest, and they have to play him straight up because he can make deep throws, he can make the intermediate throws, and he can make the short throws. And I think that's one of the many things that this offense does well that makes it difficult for defense to try to defend. They don't know exactly where the ball is going, to whom it's going, to what level it's going to, and the coach can make all those plays, short, intermediate, and long.
Now, a couple of those numbers could be a little bit different as well. The deep ball that he had to Alec Pierce, that we saw Alec Pierce go into concussion protocol, that one was really close to being a completion. And then another one that I always talk about, those bonus hidden yards, and it was that big play to A.D. Mitchell where he threw it near the end zone. There was a pass interference call. So, it's a 30-plus yard penalty that the Colts were able to get into, inside the 5 off of that. So those don't count when it comes into the passing yards and all of that. But those are some of those hidden yardages that are also very, very key to what you're able to do, being able to push the ball down the field. It's one of those things. The defense, like you said, they have to play you straight up. Now, one of the things we've talked about is spreading the ball around. We saw again today, 5 players have at least 2 catches. Michael Pittman led the team, 6 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown. This offense, I feel like the reason they've been so effective is because of that, the ability to spread the ball around, and we saw that yet again today.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want. You want to spread the ball around because, Daniel's going to take what the defense gives him. And, a play might be designed for Michael Pittman, but you know what? They have it defended pretty well. Well, I'm going to go to Tyler Warren. I'm going to give the ball to Tyler Warren so he can make a play, but it might be my second read. So, it's a good thing that, Daniel Jones does a good job of spreading the ball around, and it's good that the receivers are running and alert on every route because that's one thing that I play with a coach that always told me everyone running, everyone alert, not knowing where the ball is going to come because, yes, there are plays designed to go to certain people,
Right.
but you know what? If they have the right defense at that time and the quarterback reads it, he has to go to his second read and maybe to his third read. Those are the things that mean that, you know what? You have to be alert when the play is being called. You have to run your route like you're winning, no matter if you're the first read, second read, third read, or whatever. And that's very important for the receivers to do. And that helps Daniel Jones to be able to go back there, read the defense, and knowing that the guys are going to be in the right spot at the right time when he needs to throw the ball. If his first read is not there, or if his second read is not there, or if his third read is not there. And I thought A.D. Mitchell did a good job on that play you were talking about, coming back for the ball,
Right.
being alert for the ball being there, but coming back towards the ball so then they can get that pass interference.
Now, one final thing on Daniel Jones is his third straight game without a turnover. The Colts haven't even had a fumble. That's one of the things that's like a lot of times, you'll see a team, they'll have a fumble, they recover it, it still goes. They don't even have a fumble to this point through 3 games. Daniel Jones, it's been pretty remarkable. No interceptions, no turnovers at all. Pretty remarkable clip that he's working at right now, not putting the ball in harm's way.
Yeah, that's very important. You don't want to turn the ball over, and something that the Colts really emphasize of making sure that they hold on to the ball, don't turn the ball over, and try to create turnovers from a defensive standpoint. But for the quarterback not to throw any interceptions, not to put the ball in harm's way, is a big plus for the offense and for the teams. You want to give yourself the best chance to move the ball down the field and score points. And one of the ways you can do that is making sure you protect the ball. Keep the ball in your hands in regards to the offense and not turning the ball over. And they're doing that. Daniel Jones is not putting the ball in harm's way. The guys that are catching the ball and running with the ball are holding on to the ball. And, of course, the running backs are holding on to the ball as well. And that's what you want. Don't turn the ball over. And we talk about turnovers and turnover differential. That's one of the best indicators to dictate games that are won and lost by turnover differential. When you don't turn the ball over, you give yourself an opportunity to win football games. And right now, the Colts have not turned the ball over, and they've won 3 games, and they got a turnover. They've gotten a turnover in each of the 3 games they've played, so they're plus on a turnover differential, and that's a big bonus for this team to hopefully continue that, and hopefully they'll help them win some football games.
That's a perfect segue, Bill. It's like you knew what I was going to go to next because we got to give the defense some flowers
Yes.
today. They held the Titans under 300 yards of total offense, and it all started with Kenny Moore having, the way to open up the game. He had a awesome pick six on that opening drive by the Titans. It's his fourth career pick six for Kenny Moore. Pretty impressive, way to start the game. We're going to keep you updated on the status of Kenny. He left the game with a calf injury today. But when you talk about this team, maybe, some people might have said it's a trap game because of where the Titans were and all that. I know one of the things that you mentioned is it's only a trap game if the team lets it be a trap game. And right off the bat, Kenny Moore on that opening possession, is able to read the eyes of Cam Ward, get in that passing lane and take it to the house to start the game off 7-0 with the Colts.
Yeah, defense stepped up on the first possession of the game when they were out there, and Cam Ward made a pass. I don't know if he didn't see Kenny or not or whatever, but Kenny did a good job of hiding himself and kind of coming out there and making a big play and then taking it to the house, a pick six. That's huge. Get off to a fast start. The coach talked about he wanted the team to get off to a fast start. They did. You get off to a fast start. You score 7 points before your offense even has the ball.
Yeah.
That's a big bonus. And then you go out there and you play and you do a good job the rest of the game, especially right before halftime, and then you score again on getting the ball on the beginning of the second half. Your first offensive possession in the second half, you score. So those are some big plays. But Kenny made a nice play, and that's what you want. You want to see guys making big plays. You get a turnover, and you capitalize on that turnover by getting 7 points. A big bonus for the team, and definitely a big bonus for the offense. And of course, it's good for the defense to get those plays. They love to have an opportunity or get into the end zone and do their little dance or whatever they want to do and have fun. And it's good for the team to have fun. Let those guys enjoy making big plays, and they put in a lot of hard work, so they need to enjoy some of the fruits of their labor. And that was a big, big bonus for the Colts defense.
And one of the areas we touched on all week that was kind of a must for this Colts defense was getting pressure on the young rookie quarterback. They had allowed 11 sacks through 2 games, and the sack parade kind of continued. The Colts had 4 sacks. Tyquan Lewis, he had 2 of them tying a career high. They also had 7 quarterback hits, so very productive day for the Colts, being able to create that pressure and making things a little bit more challenging for Cam Ward as a rookie.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You got a rookie back there. You know that he's a good athlete. He can move in the pocket. That he could hurt you if he does get out of the pocket and run. He doesn't usually like to run. He likes to throw the ball when he scrambles back there. But you know what? The Colts got pressure on him, sacked him 4 times. You know that he was sacked 11 times in the previous 2 weeks. So it was good to see the Colts get some pressure on him, get some quarterback hits on him. Those are things you want to do to a young quarterback. You want to try to confuse him, make him a little hesitant back there and throwing balls or in his decision making. And the Colts did that. So you saw that with the sacks, the quarterback hits, and the pressures that they got on him. So it's important for the team to continue that. They're playing a big team next week in the Los Angeles Rams with Matthew Stafford. I'm not sure you're going to be able to fool him. He's been
Right.
around long enough. He's seen quite a bit out there, but you can still try to get pressure on him from a physical standpoint. Just beat the guy across from you. Hopefully you can get a chance to get to him. But today's game, the coach did a nice job of putting some pressure on the young guy back there. And I know the young guy will get better. He's a good athlete. He will play better, but the coach did a nice job of frustrating him and getting to him today.
Now, one final thing on the defense that I was very impressed with was against the run. That was one of the things we had seen some run leakage, if you will, heading into the game on Sunday. But Tony Pollard was the guy you had to shut down, and he had just 45 yards on 16 carries. I know he had the 1 yard touchdown, but ultimately he had just had 2.8 yards per carry. And as a team, they averaged 3.7 yards per carry, but in large part, it was all kind of based on the 27-yard run by Julius Chestnut to kind of help everything out. So if you get rid of that one run play, it was 22 carries for 59 yards on the ground. So that is a very, very good day in the run defense for the Colts.
Very good day in the run defense. A lot of teams are going to try to, if the Colts keep on playing like they have been with the offense being efficient as it has been, the team is going to try to find a way to keep the Colts offense on the sideline. And one of the
Yeah.
ways you're going to do that is by running the ball. So it's imperative that the Colts defense get ready for teams that are going to run the ball against them and play the run well. And today they did that. They played the run well against a running back. To me, I think is a very versatile back that can run the ball. He had over 1,000 yards last year running for the Tennessee Titans. He caught over 40 passes as well for the Tennessee Titans last year. So it's a very versatile back that can make some big plays. But the Colts did a nice job in the run game of slowing him down, keeping him boxed in so he didn't really make too many big plays out there. So he had just like you said, 2.8 yards per carry, a total of 45 yards. So it was good that they did a good job. Yes, the one guy had a 27-yard run. Chestnut had a 27-yard run. But you know what? If you keep those to a minimum, those runs, that's going to play well for the Colts defense. And then when you can't run the ball, then the next thing you have to do is pass the ball. And then hopefully those guys on the outside, Kwity Paye, and you have Latu can pin their ears back and hopefully get after some quarterbacks when you know you're going to pass it on passing downs, a third and long. Then that would be big because if you're successful on first and second down and slowing down the run and making it third and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, pretty much have a good feeling that they're going to pass the ball, and then you can let those guys just go after the quarterback and get after him. So good job by the defensive line and the defense as a whole playing the run against the Tennessee Titans.
All right, a couple things before we wrap up here. We're going to continue to monitor the status of Kenny Moore, who left with a calf injury, and Alec Pierce, who left with a concussion. If you want to check on any of that, you can always visit Colts.com or any of the Colts social media channels. We'll have you covered on that. But looking at this Colts victory, they currently sit atop the AFC South all by themselves at 3-0. The Jaguars defeated the Texans. Now the Jags sit at 2-1, and both the Texans and Titans at 0-3 inside the division. The Colts' next test is they'll travel to Los Angeles next Sunday to take the Los Angeles Rams on. They lost a tough game against the Eagles in Week 3, so the Rams are 2-1 heading into Week 4. And Bill, I know the way that you kind of look at the schedule, it's all based in quarters. After today, the Colts have officially won the first quarter. They start 3-0. It's a pretty darn good start.
Yeah, it's a real start, good start, and you want that. You want to play well in the beginning of the season. So when it comes to the end of the season, I'm not saying you can relax or do anything like that at the end of the season, but you still want to build off the beginning of the season and build off that and play well at the end of the year. But to win the first quarter is big, and especially against 3 AFC opponents and
Yeah.
1 divisional opponent. That goes a long way in regards to tiebreakers near the end of the season when you have to figure out, the positioning or who wins the division or where you're positioned at in the playoffs. So very important for the Colts to win these games against some AFC opponents and a division opponent. But yes, the Colts have won the first quarter. It'd be real nice to go 4-0 in that
Yes,
first
it would.
quarter. It'll be real nice. So can't rest on what they have done in the past 3 weeks. They can enjoy the flight home tonight, have a good time, go home, enjoy the time with your family and your friends and your loved ones. But come tomorrow, get ready to prepare for the Los Angeles Rams and then go out west and play another game. But right now, they won the first quarter. That's a good sign. Hopefully, they can be 4-0 and then go into the next quarter, starting it fresh, and hopefully build off of the first quarter.
Absolutely. Well, as Bill just said, the Colts have won the first quarter as they sit 3-0 through the first 3 games. We'll have you locked in on everything you need to know about the Colts and Rams as they prepare for next Sunday out in Los Angeles. But like I said, 3-0 Colts after a 41-20 victory inside Nashville against the Tennessee Titans. For Bill Brooks, I'm Casey Vallier. Thank you so much for joining us here on Instant Reaction. It's another Colts victory we're talking about today.